brutally delicious podcast.
Human meat beef carpaccio.
This is 70,000 Tons of Metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. 60 bands, 4 days, 1 cruise ship, only 3,000 tickets. It's like having an all-access backstage pass. January 29th to February 2nd, 2026. From Miami, Florida to Nassau, the Bahamas, and back. 70,000 Tons of Metal. What are you doing next winter?
While we're setting up, I got to tell you, I grew up going to Lemoore when you guys were like the weekend almost house band, and we saw you guys so many times.
Wow. Well, I had a lot of great memories there, that's for sure. I spent a lot of time there, played a lot of shows there, went to a lot of shows there. Not only we were like, we'd be doing weekends there and packing the place, but, when Metallica would come through or Anvil or whatever, we're in the crowd.
I think I saw Metallica, Wasp, and Armored Saint there.
Yeah, I was probably at that too. We used to, Chuck used to be the DJ, and we used to go up in the DJ booth and, we'd be like, play one of our songs, and so with a lot of memories there, a lot of fun there.
And I don't think there's ever been a place like that since. And, I was getting in with the fake IDs. I lived in New York, obviously, so we had those little blue licenses, and kind of somebody in high school would make a fake ID and you were 16 and we were going to see Overkill or something. Or Anthrax, right?
Yeah,
Anthrax was there all the time too.
Yeah. The New York bands, how many times did we play with Typo or Biohazard? You know what I mean? It's like we did.
But then it was Carnivore, right?
Yeah, Carnivore, that's right. Not Typo, Carnivore, that's right. Back then. I mean, we did some with Typo too as they kind of went through a thing, but really Carnivore was the thing. And they were fun. They were good. Hades we did, back in the day. And Cities was another one. There was like a lot of bands that were on our bills, a lot of times back then for sure. Sorry,
I took you down that was the first thing I thought about, because I've had Bobby on the show before and I've talked to you guys on the boats millions of times, but there's always... I hear DD Verni, and there's always just Lemoore comes right to mind, right? I mean, you can't escape it. It's sort of like a cult almost.
Well, no, I mean, again, anybody that's of a certain age, it's like, especially in the tri-state area, knows Overkill. I was at this show, or the Jersey shows that we've done through the years. And, I met my wife there. This is my son now, blah, blah, blah,
right.
blah. A lot of that kind of stuff, which is kind of cool and fun too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I like doing the show because I find out about things I never knew what was going on. I had no idea this is your second record. Right. I know nothing about big band stuff, but I popped this in and went, holy shit, this is great.
Oh, cool. Glad to hear that.
I've been listening to it all morning, like kind of doing housework and prepping and making coffee, and it's great. Like, it's just so weird to me to see, and don't take this the wrong way, to see, the guy we're talking about at Lemoore doing this kind of stuff. How did this all come about? I'm sorry, I'm probably backtracking a little bit, but I'm just curious.
It's okay. I mean, that's trying to get the word out. I think there's a lot of people that are like, it's definitely a what the hell moment. It's like, what?
Right.
DD is doing what? I love this kind of music. I always have. There was a couple of things on my list, for years and years and years. I was like, one day I'm going to do a doom record. One day I'm going to do a punk record, and one day I'm going to do a big band swing record. And I kind of have done all of them now, but I guess it was probably during COVID. I have a studio here at my house. Mm-hmm. So, this is the first time in almost 35 years that I was not on the road. The first time I ever had a break. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, I got some time. So I was going in the studio every day, and I had done some songs. I started putting some stuff together, and I was like, wow, I have enough material here to do a record. So that's how the first record came about, was just during lockdown. I kind of did that, and there's a big learning curve, just as far as, because I don't read any music, but getting on board with horns. I mean, I never dealt with horns before, and background singers, piano players. It was a big learning curve. And I said, well, let's see how I like it. And I really had a lot of fun doing it. And then I said, well, let me try a few shows. So we put a few shows together, and I like that even more. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of hooked on this. I really am having fun. That's what made me decide let's do another one where I'm not so blind. I had kind of learned a lot about
Sure.
what I wanted, what I liked, and people that I could work with. And so this second one, it's just kind of up a notch as far as the songwriting, leaving room for arrangements and all that kind of stuff. And it's just something I always loved and always wanted to do and did, and then said, do I like it? And I do. So I'm having a great time so far. So planning on more stuff, more shows.
What's been the response to not only music fans in general, but I guess thrash fans, right? Because that's where your roots are. Is there a crossover? I mean, because I know you got me. I put it on when she sent it over, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is not what I was expecting," and I dig it. And
I was kind of shocked that there was a lot of, a ton of metal fans and even guys in other bands. That when I put this out, I would get emails from guys and saying, "Wow, this is so fucking cool. I'm digging this. I'm digging this." I'm like, "Wow, really? You're really?" I thought I was kind of like a singular person, but I think people like the idea of it. Number one, but then I think that there's an energy that if you like thrash metal, a part of it is the energy of it. It's besides it being heavy and all that, it just makes you feel good. That energy that makes you want to jump up and turn, be driving 80 down the Parkway, with the music blaring.
Yes.
And this kind of does that too, in more of a fun way rather than a break down the walls way.
Right. No, I get that.
Yeah, but its response from metal people has been really good. Not oh God, don't quit your day job. It's been it's been good.
Yeah, I was amazed. That's what I'm telling you. And I think what really caught me the most before anything else in the arrangements and whatever is the production. This record sounds fabulous, right? It's big. I don't know what the words are. I don't think I have the words to describe big band stuff because I don't know much about it. But
right.
There's something there that's different, I think.
Well, I think probably my approach to it is, I'm a metal guy.
Right.
So I am, whether it's an Overkill show or a Cadillac band show, I am still trying to rip the roof off the place. So, even when I would work with the guys who played on the record, the horn players and whatever, I had to keep telling them, and they were really happy about it. It's just like as aggressive as possible. Don't worry about toning down, getting out of the way of the vocal and blah, blah, blah. If somebody can't keep up, they'll be left behind. That,
right.
the Motorhead, everything louder than everything else kind of approach. If you could bring that to a big band, swing band,
right.
That's what I'm doing a little bit of. So, and they all are like, wow, really? You go for it all the time? I'm like, all the time. Everything that you're doing. So maybe you're feeling some of that. And then the guy, Michael Frondelli, who did the mix, he had worked with, he did a bunch of hit records back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. He did Billy Idol's Rebel Yell, he did Pat Benatar, he worked with Chicago and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. And so I knew I wanted that kind of a sound. I didn't want it to be too slick, but I didn't want it to be this retro record and sound like a Bobby Darin record. I wanted it somewhere in between. And he did a great job at that too. I thought he did a great job on mix.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So I think another thing that I love about this is it's sort of timely because it's I think it's like pure joy, right? It's pure, just fun and enjoyable stuff. Like you said, you're not knocking down walls. And I think that's way needed in the times that we're in. But also, like, what is your favorite feel-good go-to song that instantly makes your life better?
Jeez, I mean, I feel that way a lot of times, even about thrash music. It's like, how can you put on, something that's really heavy and still have that feeling? What does it for me that kind of crosses both lines a little bit is Volbeat, where it's kind of heavy enough, but you can sing along with it. It's got that 50s vibe on it on some of the songs.
Yeah,
that's kind of a between the kind of things that, and I love that band. And then any of this big band kind of stuff, like Bobby Darin is, becoming my favorite. I'm like, God, I think I'm gonna have to turn in my Italian card if Bobby Darin pushes Sinatra out of the way. And it's like, but Bobby Darin is Italian too. He just changed his name. But it's like I was listening to Sinatra for a while. He's got a lot of great stuff with Bobby Darin. I really have been listening to a lot lately and digging that. And that's the same kind of thing. Brian Setzer, he's this. He's the guy who, like Motorhead was one of the first bands that said, I can take metal and punk rock and put them together, and then the rest of us kind of said, oh, wow, that's a great idea. I think Setzer was the first guy that said, let me take rock and roll and swing and big band and kind of put it together. And I know
grinding.
Yeah. And I know I was like, that's a great idea. Why aren't more bands doing that? It doesn't seem like anybody else has really picked up on it. There's a lot of bands that kind of do swing, updated, and but to really combine it with rock and roll, there hasn't been many bands to try that. I don't know why. I love it. I thought it was a great idea that Setzer did, and kind of invented the genre, if there is one. And so I'm trying to plug into that too.
That's great. I mean, and I think it's even stranger, maybe not stranger, but maybe a parallel, like Tremonti did that Sinatra stuff, right? That's very out of character that I would have thought for him as well, but it still works amazingly listening to him sing some of those Sinatra songs.
Oh yeah, he's and he was doing like his stuff is more traditional, like standards. He's doing it, with Sinatra's band, which is like, I mean, how cool is that? And a full big, like I have a smaller horn section. He's doing it with a full big band section, the whole bit. Which is really cool. And I actually spoke to him before in his management or whatever about, maybe doing something together down the line. And he does a lot of that stuff for charity, which I would, who wouldn't want to do that? But if you needed an opening act for Mark Tremonti, it would be pick another metal guy doing big band and swing kind of stuff. I think would be fun. So who knows? Maybe someday.
Yeah, we just threw that in the universe, but that's a pretty good. I'd pay to see that. Yeah, I'd travel to see that.
it would be a lot of fun. So who knows? If Mark is listening, let's go do it. I would love it.
Lots of guests on this. Was it difficult to find? I mean, you've got the Jim Heath, right, from Reverend Horton Heat, and Johnny Reno. How did those guys get involved? Was it difficult to get them on board?
No. Kind of everybody I approached on this record, even the guys who played, like Bernie Dressel, who played drums, and Johnny Hatton, who played bass, they were both in Setzer's band for, 16, 18 years, something like that. They did all the, the big selling records and all the videos and all that stuff. And I just kind of asked them because I thought they were great players and they loved the songs. So they're like, yeah, sure, send it over. And it was pretty easy sell. But with Jim, Overkill was playing up in Worcester, up in Massachusetts, at the hardcore festival there, and we came in the night before, and we were staying at a hotel, and I got a call from the promoter, who said, Reverend Horton Heat's playing a warm-up show the night before the festival. If you want to go check it out, and it was already, whatever. We had just gotten there. It was 7:00, and it's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it over. He goes, it's right across the street. I was like, oh well. Now I got no excuses, Right. So it's like, so I said, all right, I got to go check it out. And it were freaking great. I was like, wow, really, really cool. So when I started putting the record together, I was like, I had this Bobby Darin song and Johnny Mercer, they kind of like a buddy kind of song called Two of a Kind. And so I needed someone to sing it with me. And I reached out to Jim out of the blue, never met him, never had any connection with him whatsoever. I just reached out. I said, I'm doing this song. Is it something you think might be fun? And he got back and he said, I'm a huge Bobby Darin, Johnny Mercer fan. I know the song. Send it over. I'd love to do it. So he came on and did that. And then we actually just a couple of days ago released a video for that because he was in town here in Jersey playing a show. And I said, we're kind of doing a video right around the same time. Do you want to come do the video too? Which he did. And it was funny. We had talked a bunch of times, but the first time we met was standing on stage at the video. It's like, hey, how you doing? I'm DD. Hey, I'm Jim. How are you? And we just got on great. I mean, we had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs talking to each other. And then they played the next night in Red Bank, and I went down to the show, met the guys in his band. They were all good guys too. Kind of just hung out, and so and now we're talking about maybe me and Jim doing some shows together, which which could be fun. I think there's some crossover there. I think that we could have a good time kind of doing that. And then Johnny Reno was the guy Michael who did the mix on the record. He was friends with Johnny, had done his record and did some different things. And I heard a song play that mellow saxophone that Johnny Reno did. And I was like, wow, this is freaking great. I mean, he's an amazing player. Jim loves him too. Jim said he grew up, going to see Stevie Ray Vaughan when Johnny Reno was playing with him. So I just reached out to him. He loved the song. He's like, yeah, send it over. I think it's easier when people like the material for them to come on board, and kind of seemed like everybody I sent it to really was liking the songs and digging the material, and could hear themselves being part of it. So it was pretty smooth and easy. I just asked, said, sure, send it over. It sounds like fun.
Nice. And I'm going to go back for a second because I kind of want to touch on one of the first questions I asked you about, is it being accepted by the metal crowd? Were you concerned of your legacy, in the hard, heavy music when you were writing this? Were you like, I don't know, worried about putting it out and saying, shit, I don't know if I should do this? Or was there any kind of that stuff, or was it not even a thought?
No, not for me. I'm like, I've got my, my metal union card. You know what I mean? I got 35 years in. So
right.
I don't think I need to prove to the metal guys that, I still have a metal heart, and I think,
right.
So I feel like we're pretty secure with all of that. And I just like doing stuff. I get asked a lot of times, like, why would you do this? And when I tell them for fun, people seem to be taken back by it, like just for fun. I'm like, yeah, just for fun. I thought it would be interesting and fun and fun to do. I've worked on a handful of things. I've done a Bronx Cassette Company, which was a different kind of side project that I did with. There's a lot of gothic kind of stuff, right. And orchestrations and orchestra stuff. That was a lot of fun. I worked on probably 10 years ago now. I was in development on a musical called the Bronx Cassette Company. That was a vampire kind of musical. That's where I really got to do. I mean, you walk into a room and there's a whole company of people dancing and doing dance arrangements, the songs that you've done. It's like, that's a candid camera moment where you're looking around going, oh my God, what the fuck?
Right. So the kid that was playing at Lemoore in 83 or 84 could never have imagined that, right?
Oh, hell no. Are you kidding me? Especially then it was heavy. It's got to be heavy.
Right.
I don't want the wimpy ass songs on this record. I just skip over those.
Right.
But then you become like a songwriter, and it's fun to write different kinds of songs and to try different kinds of songs. So, and it kind of, when you do this for a while, like we're working on New Overkill now, and the songs are, I think, just in a way better, because I have more experience, but I'm ready to break some shit, when you finally get back to the metal.
Right.
There's never a thought of that. I think it's fun to go outside and try things.
Okay. Couple more for you, and I won't keep it too long, but are you planning on doing any reinventions of other songs? I know you did like So Long and Men with the Golden Arm. You got any like bucket list songs or something on the agenda?
I'm always looking. When you listen to a lot of this music, and a lot of the bands doing it, you're like, wow, I love that song. Wow, I love this song. It's like almost all the time they're covers. Even those Setzer records, probably if there's 14 songs on the record, 8 of them are older songs.
I did not know that. Right.
Like they're, it seems like a thing that a lot of this kind of music does. They reinvent a song, or so I'm always thinking to myself, what else could I do? And as I listen, I take notes. 2-3 years from now, when I'm thinking, oh, I got enough songs for do another record, I'm sure there'll be a handful of other songs that come to the thing. I don't have anything on my list currently because I did a bunch of them on this record, but the ABBA one was fun. I'm an ABBA fan, believe it or not. I do like ABBA. I got a kick out of them, and I heard that and said I got an idea to do something like that on this. Even Jambalaya on this record is an old Hank Williams song. If you ever heard the original Hank Williams, It would be like, how the hell did this come from that? But Fats Domino had done it in the past. Jerry Lee
Right.
Lewis had done it. And so, just always keeping my eyes open.
So my early on favorite, and I don't know if it's a reinvent or not, but Hey Mr. DJ is the one that totally gets me. That's a great tune. Is that all original?
Yeah, that one's mine. And I think that's part of the fun too, is that kind of the originals and the covers are seamless with each other. Even when you come to a show, it's almost like, we'll do, I don't know, Ain't That a Shame or something, a Fats Domino song. And then we'll do Hey Mr. DJ. And they're kind of seamless. It's like almost like, have I heard this song before? Because that's kind of how this kind of music is. It's timeless music. So, similar chord changes and that kind of thing. But Hey Mr. DJ, I don't even know where that one came from. I did like the idea of that one. Where the guy is trying to get the girl, she won't pay him any attention,
and she's trying to get away from him.
Right, of course she is, of course,
right.
And he's hounding her down, So and I like the idea of him threatening the DJ. Listen, unless you play the song that gets me the girls, we're going to have a problem, So maybe that's the Jersey guy in me. And then the girls for Kingston and Greystar, they've been with me since the very beginning. They've done both records. They've done all the shows. They're kind of a real part of the band, even though other guys have kind of come and gone, and we have different musicians play on different things.
Right.
And I have a great relationship with those two. They're great. A lot of fun, great energy. I have a total blast with both the girls.
What's this going to look like on the road? I know you've got a million things going on, but are you planning on getting out there?
We have a show right now, December 6th in Asbury Park. And now we're trying to kind of build around that. So hoping for more shows to pop up around that. We're looking for some stuff actively a little later in the year. It's always harder too with 13, 14 guys in a band. Who's available, who's not. Then you start getting into substitutes. I can do these shows, but I can't do these dates. So it's not like, overkill. It's the five of us. It's like, and our crew guys, who are family as well. It's easier to kind of pull guys together. So, but we'll see. We're planning on looking on some stuff at the end of the year, beginning of the year, something like that. But we'd like to get out there and do some shows. Would be fun.
If you could take this anywhere, like where is your mecca for playing this live?
Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh my
Why didn't
God.
I think of that? You're right.
Else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or
what about Atlantic City, though? You're from Jersey.
Yeah, I know. Casinos in general would be a fun place to kind of do this. So Atlantic City, there's casinos all throughout Pennsylvania. Connecticut has some casinos. So I'm in the tri-state area. So they're looking at those kinds of things. But that would totally make sense, right? I mean, to go to kind of thing like this. Even when I did a show at one of the last shows I did here in Jersey, I had Don Jameson open the show, who's a comic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's been on a bunch of times.
And he's that kind of idea is a great idea, I think, to have a comic come and open the show, and then have the big band show. You could do that in a casino where you kind of get everybody in a good mood. Everybody gets a few drinks, has a few laughs with a comic,
and all ages.
Yeah, and so I love that idea too. Maybe that works its way out into what we're doing. We're certainly looking at it, but that would be a lot of fun too.
Awesome. That brings me to, I could talk to you all day because I think it's a great conversation and I really do dig it. And I've been a fan forever, but thank you for your contributions to the metal world, man. I really appreciate it. Definitely been the soundtrack to my life for sure.
Well, I like to hear that. We've been working hard a lot of years, so we're doing this record. I'm like, this is our 21st record. It's like, holy shit. We're getting up there into Motorhead territory. So
I gotta be honest, as a hardcore fan, I listen to, I think, Feel the Fire more than anything. Yeah. And that damn record gets played probably, I don't know, 2-3 times a week. I still love that record, man.
Wow. Well, that's great to hear. And one of the
JJ played with fire, and now he burns in hell. I mean, there's nothing better than that album.
Well, that's great because that is, that's a record that's unique because it's, 4 guys that have never written songs before. We don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's why a lot of bands' first records, you only get that one time. After that, you've already recorded, you've done it. It's not your virgin experience anymore. Now you're starting to, you had some experience now, but that record, was just totally green, just not knowing what we're doing. And, there's something cool to that.
There's an intensity to it, I think, and a rawness that just you don't get anywhere.
Yeah, and because once you do it, it's gone. Now you're experienced. Now you do third record, more experience. Right. You can't be inexperienced anymore.
Right, 21 records in.
Right, you get one shot at that.
So can I ask you something really, really odd? We were talking about, hey, Mr. DJ, the kid wants the DJ to play a song. What song are you playing, you yourself, at Lemoore in '84? What are you asking Alex Kane to play to get the girl in the
probably Anvil, March of the Crabs, or Metal on Metal, something. I was right around that time. Those first two, Metal on Metal and Forge and Fire, those two Anvil records, I really, really fucking loved. And that was kind of happening. That was like a new happening thing at the time. And then there would always be like Sabbath. We'd always try to put some Sabbath on, or the other bands. Still, my favorite music is Anthrax, Metallica, the Megadeth, the bands we kind of came up with. I still love that kind of music. And I don't think, even though there's been a lot of bands that still do heavy music, it's not the same as the old timers. To me, you put an Anthrax record against a maybe even more popular band, Anthrax is still doing it better. For me, and it could be just I'm an old guy.
No, I agree, but I think maybe that's because that's where we grew up, right? I don't think I'm far off in age from you, so I think that's where we grew up.
Yeah, and I think that's but back in the day. If I remember at Lemoore's, a lot of times that we were really into Anvil at the time, right around those times. Anvil and Metallica, if that was, Fight Fire with Fire, we'd put something like that on there. But that's probably.
Is that when he played like with the dildo?
Yeah.
On his Flying V?
Yes. Lips. Lips and Rob Reiner, the drummer. And we've toured with them and done stuff with them in the past too. But yeah, those. Anvil doesn't get the props it could for being that. They were like almost like ahead of Venom even, and they were doing some stuff that wasn't metal. It was kind of thrashier. It was, they were right there, and the production was great, and they were. They don't, everybody talks about Metallica and then the first Exodus record and even us and whatever, starting that thrash movement. But right just before that was Anvil was doing something nobody was doing, where they were bridging that Judas Priest into thrash. They were right there too.
Yeah. Well, cool. DD, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.